What if the book of Daniel wasn't just a record of ancient dreams and beasts, but a prophetic countdown unfolding before our eyes? A mysterious high priest stands ready in Jerusalem. Temple preparations are nearly complete, and across the world geopolitical tremors are shaking foundations. But these aren't just random headlines. They're puzzle pieces in a prophecy thousands of years in the making. Daniel foresaw kingdoms rise and fall, a cunning ruler who would exalt himself above God, and a time when knowledge would increase, but so would deception. Are we there? Like and comment "I'm listening" if this opens your eyes, because this story is only beginning. From Babylon's courts to today's global capitals, Daniel's warnings echo through time, louder than ever. But the final chapter? That's up to us to read. The book of Daniel isn't closed, it's roaring to life. Stay with us. It began with a dream, a statue of gold, silver, bronze, iron and clay. But this was no ordinary vision. It was King Nebuchadnezzar's troubling dream in the book of Daniel, chapter 2, a dream that Daniel alone could interpret. What the king saw wasn't just symbolic, it was prophetic. It was a timeline of global empires, each one falling into the next, leading up to the final kingdom of the Antichrist. Daniel identified the golden head as Babylon, the chest of silver as Medo-Persia, the bronze thighs as Greece, and the legs of iron as Rome. But it was the feet, partly iron, partly clay, that captured attention. This unstable mixture pointed to a future kingdom, fragmented but powerful, eerily resembling today's uneasy alliances and global institutions. Rome, the fourth beast of Daniel's vision, Daniel 7, was brutal and relentless. It crushed nations, enforced idolatry and persecuted God's people. It didn't just conquer, it assimilated, blending cultures, religions and philosophies into a global empire. Many believe this Roman model is precisely what the final empire of the Antichrist will imitate. Daniel 7:23 declares, "The fourth beast shall be a fourth kingdom on earth, which shall be different from all other kingdoms and shall devour the whole earth." This is not ancient history, it's a living prophecy. But Rome fell, or did it? That's the question many scholars ask, because while the empire collapsed politically, its legacy lives on through language, law, politics and even the Vatican. Could the final kingdom rise from the ashes of Rome? And what does that mean for us now? That's not the half of it. It began with the dream of a king. Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, was shaken by a vision of a towering statue made of gold, silver, bronze, iron and clay, each section representing a different kingdom to come. The prophet Daniel, guided by God, revealed the statue's secret. A timeline of world empires, each weaker than the one before, culminating in a fragmented world, part strong, part brittle. Daniel 2:44 reveals something astonishing. In the time of those kings, the God of heaven will set up a kingdom that will never be destroyed. The prophecy suggests that after these successive empires, something divine will break the pattern. But before that kingdom comes, an era of darkness looms. As Babylon fell, Medo-Persia rose, then Greece under Alexander, then Rome. Each stage of the statue unfolded like a divine roadmap, and Daniel's interpretation was proven true again and again. But what if we told you that the feet and toes, made partly of iron and partly of clay, represent not just divided nations, but the world we live in today? That's where it gets chilling. The iron points to military might. The clay, human fragility and populism. Some scholars believe this blend represents modern alliances, globalism and fractured societies. We're not just nearing the end of the statue, we're living in it. And just as Daniel foresaw, the next step is not another human empire, it's supernatural intervention. But the story darkens from here. Centuries before modern headlines began to echo with tension, war and surveillance, the prophet Daniel wrote of 4 great empires. These were not just historical kingdoms, they were spiritual foreshadows. In Daniel 2, we see Nebuchadnezzar's dream interpreted. A statue with a head of gold, chest of silver, thighs of bronze, legs of iron, and feet of iron mixed with clay. These represent Babylon, Medo-Persia, Greece, Rome, and a final divided kingdom. That last kingdom? Many believe it refers to our current world system. Fragmented, fragile and deceptive. Its iron mingled with clay, powerful yet unstable, strong in appearance yet internally divided. Daniel's prophecy reveals a kingdom unlike any before it, one that would seek to unite the world politically, economically, and spiritually under false peace. And in the days of those kings shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed. Daniel 2:44. But before God's kingdom is established, Daniel foresaw a sinister figure rising among the nations. In Daniel 7, the fourth beast, a dreadful and terrifying monster with iron teeth, grows a little horn. This little horn uproots 3 kings and speaks arrogant words against the Most High. Most scholars and theologians believe this is a prophetic portrait of the Antichrist. It's not just about a man, it's about a system. The horn grows out of the beast, which means the Antichrist doesn't emerge in a vacuum. He rises from within a global infrastructure. He's not coming to destroy it, he'll use it. This is the coming of a counterfeit kingdom, masked in unity and peace, but driven by rebellion against God. What makes this even more chilling is Daniel's observation in 7:25. He shall speak great words against the Most High and shall wear out the saints of the Most High. This isn't just a war of politics or power. It's spiritual warfare at its core. The Antichrist's agenda will be subtle at first, but bold and brutal when fully revealed. The Heritage Church commentary notes, the Antichrist won't appear until the time is ripe, until the world cries out for a leader, and the infrastructure to control buying, selling, and speaking is fully in place. Sound familiar? With digital currency, AI surveillance, and global unrest rising, could we be watching the infrastructure form right now? The beast is forming, but the horn hasn't risen just yet, and yet the groundwork is nearly finished. The book of Daniel paints vivid visions of beasts rising from the sea, each one symbolizing the empires of man. In Daniel 7, we read of 4 terrifying beasts: a lion with eagle's wings, a bear raised up on one side, a leopard with 4 wings and 4 heads, and a 4th beast, dreadful and exceedingly strong, with iron teeth and 10 horns. These are not fairy tales. These are spiritual and prophetic blueprints of what was, what is, and what is to come. Theologians have long tied these beasts to the great world empires, Babylon, Medo-Persia, Greece, and Rome. But why would Daniel's vision leap from animals to iron and horns? Because these empires were not just political, they were spiritual dominions empowered by something darker. Daniel 7:8 continues with a vision of a little horn arising, boasting arrogantly, speaking against God and waging war against the saints. Sound familiar? That little horn is widely believed to be the Antichrist, emerging not only from political roots but demonic ones. The 4th beast, Rome, never fully died. Its ideology, laws and secular might live on in modern nations. Some argue even in the European Union or United Nations. So if Rome's shadow still stretches across history, could the Antichrist be emerging from its ruins? Revelation 13 echoes Daniel. A beast rises from the sea like a leopard, with bear's feet and a lion's mouth, mirroring Daniel's vision. These scriptures are not separate, they are puzzle pieces, and when they come together they reveal a chilling portrait of a final world empire unlike anything before it. Is it forming right now? Daniel 7:25 says this horn shall speak great words against the Most High and shall wear out the saints. The persecution won't be a side effect, it will be the mission. But that's not all. Daniel also saw that this beast would think to change times and laws. This isn't just a political leader, it's a spiritual saboteur. Today we see laws redefined, truth replaced by relativism, and time itself recast by new world ideologies. Could Daniel's prophecy be describing our world? And if the 4th beast still prowls, what about the final horn? 1 empire, 4 beasts, 10 horns, and 1 sinister king. But what Daniel saw next was even more astounding. Imagine a sacred place defiled in broad daylight, a moment so profane it halts history. Daniel's vision in chapter 9:27 speaks of a chilling act. And on the wing of abominations shall come one who makes desolate. What does this mean? And why do so many Bible scholars call this the abomination of desolation? The term isn't just a metaphor. It refers to a literal desecration of the Jewish temple. In 167 BC, Antiochus Epiphanes, a foreshadowing of the Antichrist, sacrificed a pig on the altar of God. But Daniel wasn't only warning about a past event, he foresaw a future horror that would echo through time and prophecy. Jesus himself affirmed this prophecy in Matthew 24:15, warning us to watch for it again. This abomination is more than just ritual defilement, it is a political, spiritual and global turning point. The Antichrist will enter a future temple, claiming to be divine, and demand worship from the world. This isn't fiction. It's foretold in 2 Thessalonians 2:4. He will oppose and will exalt himself over everything that is called God or is worshipped, so that he sets himself up in God's temple, proclaiming himself to be God. Why is this significant now? Because preparations for the third temple in Jerusalem are already underway. The red heifers have been bred, priestly garments have been sewn, the cornerstone is ready. When that temple stands again, the world will witness a prophecy fulfilled and a storm unleashed. The Antichrist's rise will be cloaked in peace, but rooted in deception. His global influence will seem like unity, but it will bring spiritual enslavement. And it will all center on one location, Jerusalem. The abomination Daniel warned about isn't merely religious, it's cosmic. It's a signpost that time is running out. But the real question is, will the world recognize it when it happens, or will they celebrate the very act that seals their doom? And this is where the tension builds. The vision Daniel received in chapter 7 was terrifying. 4 beasts rising from the sea, each more fearsome than the last. But it was the 4th beast, dreadful and terrible and strong exceedingly, that truly shook him. It had iron teeth, devouring everything in its path, and 10 horns, symbols of power and future kings. This wasn't just political, it was spiritual. This beast was a prophetic foreshadowing of an empire beyond Daniel's lifetime. Historically, many scholars interpret this 4th beast as the Roman Empire, a civilization unparalleled in its brutality and influence. It crushed nations, rewrote laws, and built a world order that still echoes through modern governments. Among those 10 horns, he saw another rise, a little horn, with eyes like a man and a mouth speaking great things. This horn would speak against the Most High, wear out the saints and attempt to change times and laws. This isn't just about a tyrant. It's a supernatural satanic force disguised in political might. The little horn is widely interpreted by many Bible scholars as the Antichrist himself. The prophecy aligns with Paul's warnings in 2 Thessalonians that the man of sin will exalt himself as God in the temple. What if Daniel and Paul were seeing the same entity, separated by centuries but unified in divine vision? Revelation 13 revisits the same creature, now healed from a mortal wound, admired by the world and empowered by Satan. Are we watching the rebirth of this 4th beast? Global alliances, anti-Christian policies and advanced surveillance systems. With each world crisis, the world grows more willing to trade liberty for security, to welcome a strong man. But Daniel's prophecy doesn't end in fear. The Ancient of Days takes his seat, judgment is declared, and the beast is destroyed by fire. How close are we to seeing the shadow of this beast stretch over our world again? The world is no stranger to control, but what happens when control becomes worship? In the book of Revelation, the beast doesn't only demand obedience, it demands allegiance. And in Daniel's vision, this very allegiance becomes the hinge point of eternal fate. He causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark that no one may buy or sell except one who has the mark. This mark, infamous and feared, isn't just about commerce, it's about dominion. It's about who owns your soul. Daniel 7:25 offers more detail. He shall speak pompous words against the Most High, shall persecute the saints, and shall intend to change times and law. What kind of ruler changes the calendar and rewrites moral law? A counterfeit Messiah, a global tyrant pretending to be divine. Some say this is a literal mark, an implant, a chip, a scannable ID. Others say it's a spiritual seal. Could it be both? The troubling part, technology is already here. Digital currencies, facial scans, global IDs. The infrastructure for total surveillance isn't coming, it's already built. And Christians worldwide are debating, are we the generation that sees this fulfilled? But here's what's more chilling. While the beast enforces a mark, God seals his own. Revelation 7:3 says, "Do not harm the earth till we have sealed the servants of our God on their foreheads." 2 seals, 2 choices, 2 destinies. Whose mark will you bear? The one of convenience and conformity, or the one of courage and consecration? The rise of the Antichrist isn't just a global event, it's a personal decision. And for millions, that choice will determine their eternity. But the final confrontation is yet to come. If Daniel's prophecy opened the door to mystery, it's chapter 8 that bursts it wide open. This isn't just about one man or one empire, it's about the final reckoning. Daniel 9:26-27 reads, "The end will come like a flood. War will continue until the end and desolations have been decreed." These are not poetic metaphors, these are divine forecasts. The flood isn't water, it's chaos, war, and unstoppable violence. Daniel's vision doesn't taper off into peace, it crescendos into global upheaval. And at the center of it stands the Antichrist. But who is he, really? Some believe he's a political leader, rising subtly under the guise of peace. Others suspect he's already alive, biding time until the perfect storm arises. 2 Thessalonians 2:3-4 warns, "The man of lawlessness sets himself up in God's temple, proclaiming himself to be God." This figure doesn't just oppose Christ, he seeks to replace him. It's this detail that should freeze us in our tracks. Because in Israel there are whispers, not of mythology, but preparation. Priests are being trained, temple utensils are crafted, sacrifices rehearsed, the altar reconstructed. It's not fiction, it's fact. Even those outside the faith sense something looming. News outlets cover red heifers, trained Levites, and talks of a third temple. Coincidence or divine choreography? The Heritage Church notes this convergence is no accident. It describes how Revelation 13 mirrors Daniel's vision. The beast that rises doesn't come alone, it brings deception, power, and a false prophet. In tandem, they create a global system of allegiance, forced worship, and economic control. And here's the chilling connection. Revelation 13:17 says, "No one could buy or sell unless he had the mark." Today's cashless economies, biometric ID systems, and AI surveillance raise hard questions. Are we being conditioned? But prophecy isn't paranoia, it's preparation. God gave Daniel these visions not to frighten us, but to ready us. Now is not the time to sleep. The stage is being set, the curtain rising, the final act approaches, and those who've read the script, those who trust in the true Christ, won't be caught off guard. Because while the Antichrist may rise, the Lamb returns to reign. Are you watching for the signs? Or sleepwalking into the end times? Like, comment, eyes open, and subscribe for more truth rooted in prophecy. In these final days, every video delivers soul-saving insight and vital news you can't afford to miss. Stay alert, eternity is on the line. Cheers!